All right, everyone. So if you made it this far, we've just talked about deciding if that mid-course correction was required. We determined it wasn't. If we look at our burn planner, we could see that I've sort of calculated in LOI. However, just ignore that for now. Um, just ignore it. We'll talk about how to calculate that later. If we punch in 0 at the ignition point, since this is the orbital phase, obviously the 0 point would be our periapsis, and a 180 point would be our apoapsis, and our periapsis, of course, is in reference to the pericynthion around the moon. So plugging in 0 is a good time for ignition, and we could see that the TIG would be 59, 54, 40. This is much faster than in real life. Significantly faster. So just keep that in mind when you're going through your flight day 2 and 3. We can see time to ignition is 12 hours, 23 minutes, and 19 seconds. At this point, after you've sort of done everything and you've decided if you want to do the MCC or not, if you do decide to do that mid-course correction, you're going to have to align your IMU. Of course, you'll do it again for lunar orbit insertion. However, just as a side note, if you do decide to do that mid-course correction, if you come under checklists, let's scroll down and let's find that P52. Here we go. And you can use the aid. So basically, here you can read through how that all is. You can also look at the IMU realign checklist. Of course, this might be really confusing since it is kind of the real checklist. So I'll just walk you through it. Just type in verb 37, enter, 52, enter, verb 22, enter, plus 3, enter, proceed. Now at this point, it's going to ask you, can you see stars out of the sextant? So we can turn the numerics up so that we get our basement computer. And we're going to come down here, make sure that our optics is on, turn off the 0 switch, get us to manual high, slave to sextant, and the coupling can be resolved or direct. It doesn't matter in reentry at this moment. If you're flying NASP, you will flip this to resolved for this procedure. We can proceed on that, and it's saying, hey, we can't see any stars. Of course, that's actually not true. We can see stars, but that's just a little glitch. After a little bit, we could see, oh, hey, look, actually, I did find some stars. So if you ever get a 404 or 405, in NASP, of course, that's legit, and you need to reorient. In reentry, it may take a second just to notice that it sees stars. Like the program calls that out because this check for stars hasn't completed as fast as the program runs on the computer. So just wait like a second or two and it'll go away. You'll get your 0170 and we could see requesting for us to mark star 31. So we're going to go ahead and just see if we can find star 31 first. Accidentally used RCS here. If you do that, you could just click backspace. Excuse me, control arrows, just use the NASP key binds. Let's try and find star 31. So there we go. Arcturus. Get it in the sextant. And just make sure that you can line everything up. Speed to low. So we can see there's a bit of an issue with the sextant. That is also bound. I'll be making a bug report for that. but you're going to get the star as center as possible. Once you've got it centered, go ahead and just click proceed on the computer. It's going to ask you to mark. We can go ahead, take the mark. And it's going to ask us to confirm if that mark was good. If it was not good, we would hit mark reject. Otherwise, we will hit proceed. That mark was pretty good. We'll hit proceed. Now in 71 appears, asking us to confirm. Here, I'll actually just bump up that brightness. Asking us to confirm, was that marking good? Did we mark on star 31? We marked on star 31. Now it's requesting us to find star 27. And a lot of times you would just hit proceed automatically and let CMC do it. In reentry, this doesn't work for some reason. So just go ahead and before you hit proceed, just make sure you can find the star. It's asking us to find star 27. So if that's 31, 27 has got to be around in this sort of region here. That was 26 and 23. So if we come up to around over here, there's 27. We could see we found it. Speed is low. We're not somehow changing the superimpose, so that's good. And we've got it centered. We're going to go ahead and press proceed. Verb 51 for the mark. Verify it's still centered. Mark. Confirm, was that mark good? That mark was good. Confirm, did we mark star 27? We marked star 27. Look at that. Our mark sequence was good. 0 switch on, speed high, and we'll see the optics drive right back to 0. Proceed. And here we've turned IMU drift off actually, just because I was testing some IMU stuff earlier. But if it was on, we would get numbers saying, oh, please torque this amount. We would hit proceed. And once that torquing was done, it's going to ask us to confirm, hey, did you want to do a star nav check? If you hit pro, it'll ask you to point at a star and whatnot. Just hit enter. And you go right to program 0. Then at this point, you would begin procedures for if you wanted to do that burn with a preferred alignment, you would be go to do that. You probably have no idea what I'm talking about. So in the next video, you'll see that. At this point, you would be good to go with the rest of the burn procedures. That's just something you should do beforehand. So that's all. So thank you, and I'll see you at lunar orbit insertion.